Hey everyone, it's Daryl from Houseplant Journal. In today's episode, we'll be looking at air plants. So over here in my east-facing window in my bathroom, I keep a bunch of air plants on the windowsill. Air plants are a lot of fun to own because they don't need any soil to live, so essentially you can use them like little living ornaments, as I have here on these glass orbs. You can look up Instagram to find all sorts of ideas on how to display your air plants. The first rule of owning air plants is that they need good light. I keep mine here in the east-facing window so that they can get good morning light, and then in the afternoon, when the sun reflects off my neighbor's house, it gets nice indirect light. The next thing to understand about air plants is that their surface is covered in these little tiny structures called trichomes. These are responsible for helping the air plant absorb nutrients out of the air and also absorb water. I try to be careful when I'm handling the air plants so as to not damage the trichomes. Air plants reproduce by making pups, or smaller versions of themselves. Some people leave them attached, but sometimes you can also separate them and then you have another air plant. Look at how pronounced the trichomes are on this one. A little baby. I bought this little macro lens for my phone camera. Let's see if it can get some good shots of the trichomes. So this is the surface of the mother plant. Moving over here to the baby plant, you can see they're a lot flakier. Let's check out the trichomes on this guy. This one is one of my favorites, the Tillandsia xerographica. This one is one of the biggest amongst my air plants, but in the wild, I've seen them grow even bigger. If your air plants are getting enough light, then you can probably water them once a week. Now the way to water air plants is you completely submerge them in water for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. But sometimes I forget about them and I end up leaving them for an hour. You can put them in a bin or something and fill it with water. But for me, I got so many, I just put all of them in my sink. So I'm just going to leave my air plants soaking in here for 5-10 minutes. Maybe I'll go have lunch first. And I'll come back and show you what you got to do with them. An important part of the watering process is you have to make sure each air plant gets dried off after watering. So for an air plant like this one, like the Caput Medusae, you have to make sure that there's no water, let's say in this little pocket here. So just giving it a good shake should be sufficient. For these guys, easy enough just to let them sit upside down to let the water drain out. Now for this big xerographica, you can see inside here, within all the folds of the leaves, water easily collects there. Now in nature, when there's a lot of sunlight, the plant will actually use up these pockets of water like reserves. But in my east-facing window, even with the sun, it's still not quite as bright as in the wild. So just tip it upside down, give it a couple gentle shakes to let the water come out. Then I'll let them just sit here for another few minutes to let them dry a little bit. Oh, another interesting thing about the Caput Medusae especially is that these tentacles, they'll curl up really tightly when it gets really dry, and once it gets nice watering, you can see they're all nice and loose now. You go back up here. These guys get to go up here in these little glass orbs. I try and rotate which ones get to go up here so that they don't get jealous. Give this big guy one last shake. So I'm all done watering my air plants. I try to do this about once a week on Saturday mornings. Doing it in the morning allows the air plants enough time to use up whatever water might be still sitting in their leaves, and that way it prevents the possibility of rotting. So that's all for this episode of Houseplant Journal. I'm Daryl, thanks for watching. Bye.